A Bloodline collapse, WWE disrespecting Bray Wyatt, Dominic Mysterio receiving a new WWE name, Ric Flair asks WWE to rehire him, Seth Rollins attacked over Roman Reigns, Logan Paul's chances to beat Roman Reigns. Let's jump right in. WWE disrespecting Bray Wyatt. Legendary wrestling manager Jim Cornette recently criticized WWE for playing Bray Wyatt's theme song during his backstage promo on SmackDown last week. The Eater of Worlds made his long-awaited return to the company at Extreme Rules on October 8th. During the latest episode of the Blue Brand, he confessed that he would do some horrible things that he'd never regret. Many fans complained on social media that they couldn't hear what the former Universal Champion was saying clearly because the background music was too loud. Speaking on the Jim Cornette Experience, the wrestling veteran praised Bray Wyatt for being a good promo. However, he felt that the latter's theme song playing in the background was unnecessary. I will say again that this guy can talk, and he can talk convincingly, and he makes it sound like he's saying it. I don't know why they put the spooky background music behind the promo, because he's so real, that made it fake, like the old TNA sit-down interviews when they had the dramatic music underneath and it just killed the whole thing. Here's a guy talking real. Where's the music coming from? Why do we need that? We don't. Just listen to the FG guy, said Cornette. The Eater of Worlds introduced fans to a new gimmick after his return at Extreme Rules. The company hyped up his return over several weeks by playing Jefferson Airplane's White Rabbit during commercial breaks and with puzzling QR codes. Jim Cornette stated that he's not sure what Bray Wyatt said during his promo, but he's still interested in seeing more of him in WWE. I don't have a clue what he said, but he sounded great saying it. He knows who you are and what you're trying to do. At least Bray Wyatt doesn't sound like he's being told what to say. We just can't figure out what it is. But I'm thinking that if they take this guy with his talent for speaking and actually give him some kind of story to tell that makes sense and that you'll understand what's going on, it might be interesting. So I'm still open here. The former Universal Champion is rumored to be forming a faction known as Wyatt 6. The first member of the faction, Uncle Howdy, was teased on the latest episode of SmackDown. Are you a fan of the new Bray Wyatt? Sound off in the comments below. Dominic Mysterio receiving a new WWE name. Bully Ray, known as Bubba Ray Dudley in WWE, believes Dominic Mysterio should change his last name. The 25-year-old recently joined the Judgment Day after betraying his father, Rey Mysterio. On this week's Raw, the villainous superstar boldly claimed that he is this generation's Eddie Guerrero. When fans reacted negatively, he corrected himself by stating that Guerrero was his generation's Dominic Mysterio. Bully Ray has enjoyed watching Dominic progress as a character over the last few weeks. On Busted Open, the WWE Hall of Famer suggested that the Judgment Day member change his surname to Guerrero. I love the relationship with Rey, Bully Ray said. I love Rey constantly being in his ear. Taking shots at Eddie Guerrero will always get you heat, saying that Eddie Guerrero was the Dominic Mysterio of his generation. Getting back to the name thing, I know they did the angle years ago with Eddie possibly being Dom's dad. What about Dominic taking the Guerrero last name over the Mysterio last name? In 2005, an 8-year-old Dominic Mysterio participated in a memorable WWE storyline involving Rey Mysterio and the late Eddie Guerrero. The angle led to a ladder match at SummerSlam 2005, where Rey Mysterio defeated his real-life friend to gain custody of Dominic. Guerrero passed away 3 months after the match due to acute heart failure. In storyline, Rey Mysterio has repeatedly said he will never fight his son. The masked veteran even threatened to quit WWE recently before Triple H agreed to move him away from Dominic's brand, Raw, and over to SmackDown. In Bully Ray's opinion, Dominic would garner even more negative reactions from fans if he announced that he no longer wants to be a Mysterio. After hearing Dom talk last night, I'm saying to myself, wouldn't it be monster heat for Dominic to renounce, drop, get rid of the Mysterio last name? There can be nothing more insulting to the family than for Dom to say that he is disgusted by this last name. He's disgusted with ever being associated with his father. Dominic recorded arguably the biggest win of his career last week when he defeated AJ Styles on Raw. Rey Mysterio, meanwhile, is currently feuding with Intercontinental Champion Gunther on SmackDown. Should Dominic Mysterio become Dominic Guerrero? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. Ric Flair asks WWE to rehire him. Ric Flair recently revealed that he would be open to returning to WWE and claimed that his new documentary will be better than his last one. The Nature Boy wrestled his final bout at the Ric Flair's Last Match event during SummerSlam weekend. The wrestling legend teamed up with his son-in-law, Andre Del Idolo, to defeat Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett in a tag team match. The 73-year-old brawled in Puerto Rico less than a week after his last bout. Speaking on his To Be the Man podcast, Flair said that WWE will be releasing a documentary about his life and career towards the end of the year. Flair claimed that the new documentary will be better than the one released by ESPN. This will be better than my 30 for 30 on ESPN because I made them promise me that whatever I said, they wouldn't edit. I'm not going to do something that's going to be edited again, he explained. I was passionate and I expressed everything that I thought was good or bad in my life. I discussed my personal life, my personal problems, family problems, wrestling problems, issues with people that I have had. I just answered questions and I answered them as truthfully as I could. Rick later revealed that he would love to return to the company and do stuff with them but didn't disclose what that would be. Former WWE commentator Hugo Savinovich recently recalled how generous the Nature Boy was with his money when he performed in the Dominican Republic. Speaking with Riju Dasgupta of Sportskeeda Wrestling, Savinovich revealed that Rick once gave a $500 tip and that it was the first time in his life he had seen something like that in the wrestling industry. This was the first guy in my life in the wrestling industry that I saw give a $500 tip. That was the man. I was in charge of bringing him to the Dominican Republic and prove that Dominican Republic could be the place to get all these beautiful talent in. And Flair went in with the condition that I would be next to him in the business transaction. Wrestling legends Kurt Angle and Trish Stratus recently appeared on WWE TV. It will be interesting to see if Triple H brings back the Nature Boy once again. Would you like to see Ric Flair return to the company? Let us know in the comments section below. Seth Rollins attacked over Roman Reigns. According to two-time WWE Hall of Famer Ric Flair, Seth Rollins has a long way to go to reach Roman Reigns' level of stardom. In November 2012, Rollins burst onto the WWE scene alongside Jon Moxley and Reigns as members of The Shield. All three men went on to become world champions following the group's initial separation in June 2014. On his To Be the Man podcast, Flair mentioned Rollins during a conversation about wrestlers undergoing too many character changes. Look at Seth Rollins. He's been 10 different things. You know what he was the best at? Being the architect. Because he's really strong and technical in the ring. But since then I can't even keep track of all of it. I know why it is, it's all to sell merchandise. I saw where he compared himself to Roman Reigns. I don't think that's even close. Rollins recently said in an interview with Ariel Helwani on BT Sport that he thinks he is better than Reigns. However, he feels like he has always played second fiddle to his former stablemate in WWE. Rollins has transformed his on-screen persona many times over the last decade. The 36-year-old was initially known as the Architect due to his strategic ideas for the Shield's matches. He now claims to be a visionary who can foresee the future. Flair has been a fan of Randy Orton ever since they joined forces in the Evolution faction between 2003 and 2005. The Nature Boy also worked with another current WWE superstar, AJ Styles, on TNA. In Flair's opinion, Orton and Styles are more worthy than Rollins of being spoken about in the same breath as Reigns. When you start talking about yourself in the same light as Roman Reigns and you look over your shoulder and you've got AJ Styles and Randy Orton standing there, I don't know. He's not even close. Rollins recently captured the United States Championship from Bobby Lashley. Reigns, meanwhile, is currently WWE star attraction. His 787-day tenure as Universal Champion makes him the longest reigning world champion since Hulk Hogan's 1,474-day WWE title reign ended in 1988. Do you think Seth Rollins is on Roman Reigns' level? Let us know in the comments section below. Logan Paul's chances to beat Roman Reigns. WWE Hall of Famer Shawn Michaels gives an honest opinion on Logan Paul's chances against Roman Reigns. Earlier this year, Logan Paul made his debut when he teamed up with The Miz to defeat the Mysterios at WrestleMania 38. Later, he challenged The Miz to his first ever singles match and defeated the A-lister at the hottest party of the summer with The Miz's own finishing move. Last month, he called out Roman Reigns and challenged him to a match. Later, Triple H made it official that Logan Paul will face the Tribal Chief for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Speaking on Impulsive, Shawn Michaels gave his honest opinion on how Paul would do against Reigns in Saudi Arabia. This is number 3 right for you. Like in my third one, am I going to beat one of the best of all time? Well, I mean, cut me some slack, said Michaels. I mean, it took me 10 years and I'm one of the greatest of all time. And not that you can't get there, but at number 3, I think you're going to do fantastic. Interestingly, Michaels stayed neutral but feels Paul will be giving one of his best performances against the Tribal Chief at WWE Crown Jewel. In 2020, Roman Reigns returned to WWE and immediately reached the top of the mountain. He defeated Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt at WWE Payback to win the Universal Championship. Earlier this year, he unified both world titles into the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. During his last defense, he narrowly escaped Drew McIntyre at WWE Clash at the Castle with the help of Solo Sikoa. He is set to face Logan Paul at WWE Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia for the titles. Paul recently revealed that he is training with WWE Hall of Famer Shawn Michaels for his big match. It will be interesting to see if Paul can do the impossible and end Roman Reigns' tyranny, which has lasted over 2 years, and become the undisputed champion. Do you think Logan Paul will win the titles? Sound off in the comments section. A Bloodline collapse. The WWE Universe on Twitter has demanded that a Bloodline member should challenge Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. In reaction to a tweet from Twitter user @ProWFinesse, fans made it clear that they wanted to see Jey Uso run it back with the Tribal Chief. During the initial stages of Reigns' current heel run, he feuded with his cousin in the absence of Jimmy Uso. The two men faced each other in an incredible I Quit match at Hell in a Cell 2020 after their first bout at Clash of Champions a month earlier. Fans have now suggested that Jey could potentially betray the Bloodline and step up to challenge Reigns again in the near future. One Twitter user also suggested that the Tribal Chief's faction might collapse if things aren't in his favor going forward. However, a set of fans noted that Jey Uso is now a dedicated tag team wrestler, and they believe that he should focus on teaming up with Jimmy. Roman Reigns' next title defense will be against Logan Paul. This will be the Maverick's third ever match in the company after his debut at WrestleMania 38. Speaking to Alex McCarthy of Inside the Ropes, Paul recently claimed that he baited the Tribal Chief into defending his undisputed WWE Universal Championship against him. He said, "Like in my head, I'm like, why would I not just go for the top immediately? I don't have much patience. I was a social media kid. Instant gratification is what I'm used to. I could do all the other stuff and go through the ranks and wrestle little by little and make my way up there, but I prefer dropping the explosion as soon as I enter." So yeah, called out Roman Reigns, pretty much baited him into a match. It worked. Here we are, November 5th, taking on Roman Reigns for the title at Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia. It's insane. Paul previously took a dig at Reigns after interviewing him on his Impulsive podcast. This led to the confirmation of a title match between the two that was set by Triple H. The two will face off at the upcoming Crown Jewel Premium Live event in Saudi Arabia. Would you like to see Jey Uso versus Roman Reigns 3? Sound off in the comments section below.
Cause I'ma live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I don't lie at night, I be in my feelings. I'ma be fine, need time, and I'll soon be winning. I live life for the fight, yeah, I'm here to get it. I got drive, got sight, always have a vision. I don't lie.